Subscribing to The Observer on YouTube is easy. First, navigate to youtube.com/TheObserverNJ. Then, you'll wind up right here. Once there, click the subscribe button. And now you're subscribed. After that, click the arrow and then choose all. Now you'll be notified anytime The Observer is live. To welcome in my dear friend Tony Mondaro, the director of the Harrison Weather Center, who joins us today right from the heart of the center. Tony, good afternoon, brother. Good to see you as always.
Good afternoon, Kevin, and what a nice afternoon. We're 58 degrees and sunny in downtown Kearney at this hour, and it looks like we'll probably see the low 60s this afternoon before the clouds, drizzle, and dreary weather move in for most of the weekend, I'm afraid.
That's really, I think, why most people are here today. They're interested to hear about what the parade weather is going to be like, which, of course, is Sunday, beginning at 1 o'clock by Harrison Town Hall. So, what can you tell us a couple of days out? Is it too soon, or do you got something to report yet?
Oh, absolutely, Kevin. Not too soon at all. We kind of have a pretty good idea what's going to happen now for the parade. Let's set it up for this afternoon. A nice sunny afternoon. Temperatures in the low 60s. A little bit of a southerly breeze. Then we get an easterly wind kicks in tonight. That's going to lower the clouds, some fog, some drizzle is going to start in the overnight tonight through Saturday and Saturday night and Sunday morning. And then as the front tries to move closer to the area, I actually think we'll get some breaks of sun and clouds in the late afternoon, the late morning to early afternoon. And then we're going to wind up with a scattered shower possible early on Sunday. And then I think the bulk of the parade is dry, but Kevin, windy with temperatures in the 60s. So those of you that are going to have floats out there, just be mindful of the strong winds. Now, I mean strong winds, 15 to 25 miles per hour, and we could get some wind gusts on the parade route, especially with the funneling effect down Rogers Boulevard and Kearney Avenue. Maybe some wind gusts between 30 and 40 miles per hour. So we'll have to be careful for that. And I think any meaningful heavy rain holds off well after the parade has ended, more late afternoon, or even perhaps Sunday night. So I think good news for the parade, but we'll just have to be mindful of the wind and what the wind can bring as far as throwing stuff around. The poor guy that sells those blow up things on pretzels on those shopping carts could have a time of it on Sunday.
Well, just imagine this. This is good news because if you could even begin to imagine what it would be like if I'm going to show you this picture in 1 second. Just bear with me here. Imagine what would it be like if these three people were getting soaked. Now, for Mike and Donna, I think it would be perfectly. They would probably be able to handle it. But can you imagine King Mark Wiggins over here if he got soaked on his parade day? I don't think he'd be too happy, and especially when you see, if you haven't seen it yet, the incredible green suit that he got from his kids. They had it made in Scotland, and it was sent over here. There was a great story behind it. I'd like to tell it, but I know I'll get it wrong. But his kids somehow got the measurements, and they made this perfect green suit for him. But if it got wet, I'm telling you, I forget what the fabric is. I think that thing would shrivel up. So I think I'm very happy for everybody that the weather looks like it's going to hold off. What do you think?
And we don't want to get the king wet at any time. I really miss Kevin about that day. Not maybe some know out there, but I used to sing with the Holy Cross Choir for about 8 years with Sister Barbara Gracia Day, and Maria Galliano and Teresa Comomeci was the organist back then. I always look forward to the Irish St. Patrick's Day Mass at 11 o'clock. Of course, we used to sing around 11:30 before the Mass at 12 back then with the Irish songs and then the Mass. It was pretty cool, and I kind of missed that.
Do you remember some of the songs that they would sing at the mass?
Oh, sure, absolutely. Irish Eyes Are Smiling and Tora Laura Laura and everything like that. It was a good time.
Really, at the mass? Wow.
Yes, right
Okay, because
before the
some
Mass,
priests
before
don't like that. They don't like the secular music getting into liturgical music. That's great.
right, but that was before the Mass at 11:30. Then at 12 we did the Irish songs.
Okay, okay, I got you. I got you. If you're just
As I
joining us,
moved back,
yeah, what's going
you
on?
think I have every radio off, but I don't.
Oh
Something had
man.
to leak through.
Well,
Yeah,
what else
so
do you have back there? Do you have police scanners back there too, and fire scanners? Well, I shouldn't
well
say
now,
police scanners because we know most of those are all screwed and encrypted now. But what do you got back there?
yeah. Most of them were two-way radios to talk to our public safety partners, Kevin, emergency management for Kearney and Harrison. Also, we do have capability of talking to the state and county as well, if needed. Sometimes we do get, say, like when we have major fires and major chemical issues, there's at times we'll have to coordinate with them through the two-way radio. They set us on a special frequency, and we'll go back and forth with them. We do have police scanners, and yeah, unfortunately, most of the police communications are encrypted. One day, when we have the time, Kev, I'll give you my take on police encryption and how dangerous it could be for our law enforcement partners.
I would love to do that because when this first happened, I want to say it was about 2007, the year that Carney went to encrypted radio. I I was so upset by it to the point where I thought, my God, I wish we had a substantial amount of money because I would have, if we had big time budgets and lawyers and things, I would have sued for that because I really thought that was a crappy way to go. I understand the premise that it's you don't want the bad guys to get more information than they need to know when they're out there and they're committing crimes. On the other hand, there's a right to know a lot of things, and I never really fell in line with that whole idea of encryption on these things. So we got to have a day where we talk about this. I'm sure we could probably go for an hour or longer talking about it, right, Tone?
Absolutely, without a doubt. And I'll just say briefly before we get into it further into another day. I worked as an EMS chief, the local EMS chief for 43 years. Now we had to worry about HIPAA and what we put on the radio, especially when it comes to hospital notifications and patient care. If there was something that I did not want to be put on the radio, and there's a lot when it comes to patient care and when it comes to patient privacy, because you have to worry about the HIPAA laws, we use the phone. He used a cell phone and gave the information that way, and everything was fine.
Wow. Wow, what a shame that it's gotten to where it is now, though. But it's good to know that at least you're still able to do what you got to do. But what a shame that it was so much easier back in the day, wasn't it?
Absolutely, without a
Yeah.
doubt. Kev, what do you got cooking for St. Patrick's Day for the parade?
I'll be over at the parade covering it. I didn't go last year. I wasn't feeling well on the day of the parade, but I'll be there this year. Especially, it's a lot easier to go and cover the parade and be there at the parade. I love the day, no matter what year it is. But this year is special because, Mark Wiggins is Mark Wiggins. And I've known him since I was a teenager. And he's, to me, one of the most special people in the world. Just what he does for families when they are at their worst moments is bring them back to life in so many ways. He just has a way to keep you positive. I've never met a person who's able to do it the way he did. And I'll never forget when he, like going through COVID, when he had bodies piled to the ceiling in the funeral parlor, how difficult it was for him. But he got through those days, and it's just remarkable what he was able to do back then and what he's able to do to this day. So I really want to be there for Mark. And then the deputy grand marshals, too. I got two other connections. Mike Mara is a graduate of St. Peter's Prep, like I am. He was 6 years after me. And Donna Bocchino, who having worked in North Arlington for many years, has a deep Kearney connection and she's now a councilwoman in the borough of North Arlington. So this is one of those real grand slam years for the grand marshals of the parade.
Yeah, I'll tell you something too, Kevin. You know, police and fire, they do a wonderful job. But a lot of times the press and in the media, emergency medical services, EMTs, and paramedics are often overlooked. And I know the Observer, you guys don't do that. You always include EMS when you report on a story. Because, even though we didn't have, thankfully, a lot of people killed in 9/11 with EMS, we still respond to these emergencies. So, everyone out there, when you think of public safety, it's police, fire, EMS. And North Arlington, they took it one step further through the years and also included DPW in that too, into that family. And it's important because we have the roads clear, we are of snow and potholes filled up, and also sewers, the sewer issues. DPW plays a very vital role, and thankfully we have great DPWs in this area, and also to your coverage to the west with Belleville and Nutley as well.
What would we have done without EMS in 2020 when COVID
Yeah.
got really, really bad? What would we have done without you and your colleagues and all the others who have served these communities for so many years when they didn't know what they were going to say or who they were going to come in contact with, what they were going to walk away with, when there were no masks or there was no personal the PPE and all that other stuff? We owe a great debt, sir, to the EMS community. We really do, Tony. And you're right; they're too often underlooked.
Right, and not only that, Kev, but the health department directors. I know I was very close to ours with two times a day during the height of COVID with conversations and coordination calls, and also our school nurses.
Yes.
All
Yes.
right,
In fact,
so
I got my first booster shot. Excuse me, my first COVID shot from a Harrison school nurse, and I will never forget her. She's she works over at the Kennedy School. I'm not sure if she's still there, but she was at the Kennedy School, and never forget her. And she put her life on the line, as that many of them did every single day when they were dealing with people who they didn't know what they had. And so
right,
you're absolutely right. I couldn't agree with you more.
and also the local pharmacies played a very vital role too. Not the name brand pharmacies; they were
Nope.
helpful, but the local pharmacies
That's right.
were
Remember,
very, very helpful.
I forgot about this, and I'm glad you brought it up, but there were places like Midtown Pharmacy that were not just delivering prescriptions, they were coming to people's homes to pick up the paper prescriptions so people didn't have to go out. So they put their people in the line of fire, so to speak, to go out and pick up those prescriptions. Who does that? Who does that at all? But it happened right in our neck of the woods. But you're absolutely right. It was the mom and pop ones that did this, not the big names.
Absolutely. And we would be remiss for not going through a little sports, Kev, before we go today. Our Mets, another injury with McNeil, and really my condolences to Lisa because I know she's a huge Yankee fan with the loss of Garrett Cole for probably the next couple of years.
Yeah, isn't that heartbreaking? I can't sleep about it. I really can't. I think about it all the time now. And it makes me almost cry to think that Garrett Cole won't pitch until 2027. Tony, it's horrible. I
We better
shouldn't
take
though.
we better take it easy, Kev. We may not have a show next week. We may not have.
Seriously, I shouldn't be like that either because, the Devils have lost Jack Hughes for the season. They have lost Dougie Hamilton for the season and also Jonas Siegenthaler for the season, all in the last couple of days. So I shouldn't be, there's really nothing to make fun of when athletes are hurt. So, but still, man, it's been a
Uh,
rough spring
and the
for
and the wheels really fell off my Seton Hall Pirates this year.
what
I
happened.
think they were, yeah, it was crazy. I think they were 7-25 or something like that. It was nuts. You
It
know,
can't be easy either, though, when you have Rick Pitino to contend with, right? Over at St. John's. I mean, this guy is just unbelievable, isn't he?
Kev, I went to the St. John's game this year. One of the only few games I made over to the Rock this year.
Right.
St. John's Seton Hall. St. John's was up by 32, and Patino was coaching that day like they were down by one for the entire game. It's crazy.
Let me ask you this: when St. John's comes to the Rock as an opponent, are there a lot of Johnny's fans in the crowd?
Some,
Some.
some, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Hmm.
That always bothers me. Like it's the same thing when the Devils play the Rangers at the Rock. Half the building is Ranger fan. Not so much half anymore, but enough where you hear it. You hear it, and I've always hated that over the years. So I was always wondering what St. John's did if they travel.
It's the price of the ticket in the third market, Kev. You can go on the
Yeah,
third market. Somebody's giving away their front row seat, and there's that Ranger fan sitting there, and that's what happens. You wind up with a slew of other fans being there. It's a
that's it.
shame.
Yep, all for a profit. That's what,
Yeah,
but unlike Devil fans, Ranger fans are willing to pay because they're still getting a deal on what they would pay at Madison Square Garden. Unbelievable stuff.
right. So the Sunday that the Mets are home, the first home series of the Mets, me and my godson David's going over to City Field, and we like the nice Sunday club over there, and we pay a good price for that one game, Kev, with parking. You're talking between $200 and $300 just for one baseball game, for
Good
one
God,
ticket.
for one ticket. What does
Mhm.
parking go for now, or is the parking included in that?
$40 and includes if you pray your car's still there at the end of the game in the lot
Right.
with the tires.
Oh my
That's
God.
what it includes.
When I was a senior in high school and first got my license and we'd go to Devil games, it was $5 to park at the Meadowlands. And I remember thinking back then that that was a lot of money. And now they're charging 40. It's probably 60 or 100 to park at MetLife Stadium for football games. My God, what is it? To put your car somewhere. Ay, ay, ay.
I'll tell you something. I still like the Brendan Byrne or Continental Airlines Arena, wherever you want to call it out there. That was a neat little place to go watch a basketball or a hockey game. I liked it out there.
It was a big place, though. It was very cavernous. It always reminded me of like an airplane carrier. But I kind of like the comfort of the Rock as that it's smaller. But you're right; those days were, man, there were so many great memories in that building. Truly, truly great memories in that building.
Right. If you wanted to, after the game, you could catch the last 4 or 5 races of the Meadowlands.
That's right. That's it.
They had the horse racing 7 days a week back then.
Man, man, those were the days. Now, what about you, Tony? You going to White Castle tomorrow? What's going on?
I think tomorrow, Kev, is probably cleanup day around here. We'll maybe try to get out this weekend. I was supposed to go to the parade on Sunday, but now we're going to have to worry about this wind forecast. We have to watch that. And I think the wife has a honey-do list somewhere up in Greenbrook Township with the relatives on Sunday. So it's going to be a busy day for me. So hopefully, if things can change, I'll get out there. We'll coordinate and watch the parade together, but we'll see.
Beautiful, beautiful. Well, no matter what, if I don't see you on Sunday, I will see you back here with us on Tuesday. And I can't thank you enough for hopping on today on a Friday and getting us prepared for the big day on Sunday. Tony, thank you, and we'll see you on Tuesday. Enjoy the rest of the weekend, okay?
You're welcome, Kevin. Before I go, please everybody like and subscribe because without you, there's no show. And we'll have updates on HarrisonWeather.com and Harrison Weather Facebook.
Thank
Kev,
you.
have a great weekend. Great to see you.
Thank you for reminding me what I always forget. I appreciate it, my man. Talk to you later.
Take care.
There he is, the one and only Tony Mondaro. He, of course, is the longtime proprietor of the Harrison Weather Center, and he's with us today on a Friday. I really appreciate Tony joining us very, very much. This is just a reminder that coming up on Sunday is the parade 2025 West Hudson St. Patrick's Day Parade is at 1 p.m. Steps off from around Harrison Town Hall, works its way up Frankie Rogers Boulevard, then into Kearney Avenue, ends at the review station at Kearney Town Hall with Mike Mara, the Deputy Grand Marshal. Mike is the class of 1998 at St. Peter's Prep. Mark Wiggins, the Grand Marshal, the longtime proprietor of the Armitage and Wiggins Funeral Home on Belgrove Drive, and of course, Donna Bocchino, the Deputy Grand Marshal. She, of course, is a councilwoman in the borough of North Arlington, and we are happy for all three of them who are going to get their big day on one that might be close to 70 degrees. Now, before I move on, I want to welcome in a couple of people who are here with us today. Rio Rodriguez is here with us, Dominic Esposito, who is my high school classmate. Also, the one of the few people who I know who I share a birthday with. If Carol Manley is watching this, Dominic Esposito was also born on September the 21st. Dom, good to see you, brother. It's been a while. My mother is also here watching us. She tells me my cousin is down in Port St. Lucie with his brother in law and nephew. They always go now, never when I lived in Port St. Lucie. I never got a chance to see anybody down there, but I'm glad they're all down there. Hopefully, they're all having a good day. Lori Bradow is here with us. Lori, good to see you. Thank you very much. And of course, earlier we saw and heard from John Pino and Manny Ventoso. Now, there's only one more thing that I need to get to today. And this is coming up on Friday of next week. And it is a show called Mary and Eleanor. This is part of the celebration of Women's History Month in our town here in Kearney. And it's a story about Mary, it's called Mary and Eleanor. But these two are two of the more incredible women in the history of American politics. Um, and I want you to read about this at some point if you get a chance. You should really Google the name of the show, but it's coming up a week from today, and it'll be at 6:30 p.m. at the American Legion in Kearney. If you're interested in going to see this incredible show, the website where you can reserve free tickets is listed right below here, forums.office.com/r, and those letters and numbers there. They're limiting it to 120 people. So if you're interested, I would suggest that you go through and make your reservations now or sooner than later, because this is going to be an incredibly epic afternoon. Mayor Carol Jean Doyle worked hard to get this there. I know she will be there that day, and it should be a really great experience as part of Women's History Month. Every March, of course, is Women's History Month is marked, but this will be a special occasion at the American Legion in Kearney, which of course is located at 314 Belgrove Drive. So check it out at your earliest convenience. And believe it or not, that's it today. I really wanted to make sure we had an update on what the weather would be like. We thank Tony for that. And I want to thank everybody who is here with us today watching. If you're here or if you're in the background, thank you. Especially to my buddy Dominic Esposito, my high school classmate and my birthday brother. Good to see you, Dom. All right, we will be back on Tuesday, and of course, we'll have highlights from the parade, maybe even on Sunday, depending on how quickly I'm able to turn it around. But if not, we'll certainly have them on Tuesday. From the newsroom of The Observer and TheObserver.com, Kevin Canessa signing off for now, and we hope to see you back here again very, very soon. Enjoy the rest of your day today, everybody, and we'll see you on Tuesday. Bye bye.